Bolsheviks, they're enemies who vote for it. Open up the border, let the boats with the homeless in. Never trust a commie. Never trust a commie. Never trust a commie. Let's congratulate Mr. Mamdani. Never trust the communists. Never trust the promises. If you vote for it, you won't forget the consequence. Never trust the communists. Never trust the promises. If you vote for it, you won't forget the consequence. Cheers to the champagne socialists. No regret when they vote them in. So intense when they sold us in. Bodies on the floor, they don't notice them. None of you heard about the gulag. Stop for their food farms, barred in the gulags. The train left the station with a choo-choo. Nothing worse than a smile when they shoot you. Never trust a commie. Never trust a commie. Never trust a commie. Let's congratulate Mr. Mamdani. Never trust the communists. Never trust the promises. If you vote for it, you won't forget the cause. Never trust the communists. Never trust the promises. If you vote for it, you won't forget the cause.
If we don't learn from the past, we will be doomed. This is Apostate Radio, episode 44. One of the most powerful songs you'll ever hear. And I am honored, we are honored to have the man who created that song as well as several others on his very first album, Factory Reset. This man is also the co-author of The Queering of the American Child, written by the first, who we recognize as the Grandmaster of anti-communism, Dr. James Lindsay. But this man here is the second Grandmaster. These two, I have been wanting to have this brother on my show, on this show, for quite some time, and he's here with us tonight. Songwriter, author, Logan Lansing. What's going on?
Grandmaster. Logan, you got to start you and James should start a Shaolin temple of anti-communism.
Hell
yeah, I've got to learn how to handle this sword. I study jujitsu in my free time, but I don't have any weapons training. So I think if we combine skill sets, we could have something going for us.
Yeah, I'll join. I did some Wing Chun and some jujitsu myself. So,
oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I have no formal martial arts training, but I really love Muay Thai, kickboxing. So,
and Muay Thai is great.
Eight limb is fantastic. So yeah, yes, folks, this is Apostate Radio 44, and I've already been told I've already gotten several heads up that we're going to have some friends.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You guys have friends?
I know it's hard.
I don't know how to handle.
I don't have many friends.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with friends. I'm not familiar with that.
So because this is your first time here on the show, and we do have a little bit of time with you tonight, but if you would please introduce yourselves to this audience on our fledgling podcast here, please let the people know who you are and what you are about, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm Logan Lansing, and long story short, I got into this like so many of you got into this. I saw things really going crazy in the late 2010s and was wondering what the hell is going on. Why has everyone lost their goddamn mind? I don't understand it.
Yep.
And then I was the long and short of it. I was planning to be a father, and I could no longer ignore it. And I realized that if I wanted to welcome children into this world and help them navigate the road ahead of them, I need to figure out what's happening in the world and dive deep into it. And maybe it's a bit of an autistic side of me, but I really got hooked on what was happening in schools and trying to get to the bottom of why our educational system had completely fallen apart. Now, what I didn't know at the time is this intentional destruction of our university system and K-12 education started a long time ago, 100 years ago, with the brunt of that happening in the last several decades. But I quickly realized that something was really off. A lot of, if people are familiar with me, they'll know in The Queering of the American Child, we talk about Kevin Kumashiro quite a bit. He's one of these professional academics who's been the dean of several education departments at prestigious universities, who's responsible for, teaching teachers how to be teachers and instructing them on efficacious pedagogy and how to teach children to learn and think for themselves. And I came across one of his papers in my early research where he said that, and this is a direct quote, that educators have a responsibility to draw students into crisis. And I read that and was thinking, excuse me, what do you mean educators have a responsibility to draw students into crisis in the classroom? And he was speaking
similar to that. I saw something similar to that this week. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he was talking about the context of topics that children really struggle with, like identity and who they are. And of course, he took that further, and he's one of these queer academics, and I use that technically, not as a smear. Technically, he's a queer academic, and he went on to say things like queer teaching and learning always works through crisis. The goal is to continue teaching and learning through crisis, to continue experiencing the queer. And here I am early in my research reading this, and you're hit by a Mack truck thinking this is a prominent professional. This isn't some crazy blue-haired loon who just got their degree in undergrad. This is someone who's well respected in the field, and he's saying this. So what's going on here? So again, long story short, I was preparing to be a father. I decided to do some digging, and 5 years later, I'm kind of here. I wrote 2 books. The first one was The Woke Warpath. It was my first shot at authorship. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm just a guy out there. So I took a swing at it. I'm pretty proud of that work. And then my second book was The Queering of the American Child, and that's the one that I think James has told this story a few times, but I sent it to him on a whim. I had never really interacted with him all that much, saying, hey, can I get some advice? Do you think I've got something here? What do you think of this work? And he really enjoyed it and thought he did have some good input, and we started to work together on it and co-authored it. And it was a pretty big book, and it's helped a lot of people understand what's going on in education with their children. So I'm proud of that.
That's what's up.
Isaiah, are you hearing kind of some audio inconsistency with Logan?
I am a little bit.
Would you want to bring the mic closer, Logan? See if that makes a difference. I feel like when you're moving back,
is that better?
I don't know. Actually, that's not better, right? I don't think that's better.
What
going on?
Are you using?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
What's that?
What earbuds are you using?
Beats.
Beats. Okay. Are they Bluetooth enabled? Like do they have? Are they for phones too? Okay, that's probably what it is, because he's got like 2. You basically, do you have, real quick, because I know this is going to be kind of crazy, but do you have like a regular, just like regular headphones or something without that mic? Because I think what's happening is the mic in your earbuds. What's that?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Or
that's right. I think you're right, Isaiah. Yeah.
Yeah. Try. Yeah. If you have a like just a regular if you just have like regular headphones, I think that'll probably work.
They can plug in, you mean, like a wired headphone?
Either, yeah, like a wired headphone or something like that. Just a regular jack. We do apologize, folks. We're doing a little bit of audio work just momentarily. So did you? Well, I guess while we work on that, you can follow us directly. You can follow us directly, folks, at Isaiah L. Carter or at Nino Chavez X. There is, of course, our show's page on X, which is Apostate Radio NY. And then if you like what we do here and would like to support the channel financially, we do have buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio. We have been doing this now. It's incredible. We've only been doing this for a year, and this is week one of year 2, and we're blessed to get this second year of Apostate Radio off with a bang here with Logan. How do you sound now, brother? Let's hear it.
Is it better?
Speak directly into the mic.
Is that better?
A little bit. Yeah, come up. Yeah, bring the mic up to you a little bit closer, or turn your mic up.
How's that?
Okay, that's a little bit better. Try
a little bit better.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Do you have noise canceling in StreamYard? Do you have noise canceling on? We're trying to work this out, y'all. Give us a second.
And Logan, are you using the right default mic?
Better.
When you click on the mic, you're using the right default mic for you?
Yeah.
Microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's we'll make it work. I think
we'll
talking to the mic, but I think we can understand you. That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's that was a lot of great information. I think interesting. Let's get into this. Let's get into what is a queer. Was it a queer teacher, a queer academic? Is what you said? Can you define that, or give us an idea what the hell a queer academic is?
Please do.
Can you hear me now?
That's actually a lot better.
Yeah, I think that's
better. Okay. Yeah, there was a pop-up hiding in the background up here from StreamYard for something. I just enabled it.
Yeah, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. Okay.
It's better? Okay. Cool. I'm sorry. It was your question was what's a queer academic?
Yeah, give people our audience an idea of what that is. And it's probably hard to define, but
yeah, it's hard to define, and and most people when they hear the word,
turn your mic down just a little bit, just a little bit.
I just did, Isaiah. I actually turned them up before. I turned it down. Yeah, I think you're good now.
Is it better?
Yeah, just did it just now.
Yeah, about that.
Okay, I'll introduce a few more problems as we go on. Don't worry about it.
No, that one was my fault. That's okay.
So a lot of people hear the word queer and they think of it as a slur, but it has a technical definition, and that was given by David Halperin in 1995 in his book Saint Foucault Towards a Gay Hagiography. And in that book, he writes that queer identity need not be grounded in any positive truth, number one, or any stable reality. It acquires its meaning from its oppositional relation to the norm. It is by definition whatever is at odds with the normal, the legitimate, and the dominant. There is nothing in particular to which it necessarily refers. It is an identity without an essence. So a lot of commie gobbledygook, but that's what queer means technically. And
oppositional defiant disorder in the adult.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, and there's a lot to be said.
Why would that be something that you'd want to hire anybody for? Like you hire somebody to teach kids how to be the opposite of the norm. Like why is there a demand for that? Isn't there already something that a lot of kids would end up doing at certain points in their lives? Like why do you need a professor or teacher to be an expert at teaching your kids to defy all norms? That seems like counterproductive.
They think all norms are They think all norms are oppressive. And the reason they hire them is because the U.S. Department of Education has adopted all of these policies for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this is one of those things that you get when you establish that sort of corrupt framework. They think all norms are oppressive. To queer something is to abolish the idea that anything is considered normal. So, in simplest terms, you've got males and females. That's normal, obviously. Well, we need to abolish that because that's oppressive for anyone who feels that they want to identify as anything else or there's something else on the inside. You have to understand that for queerty, anything that is considered normal, legitimate, or dominant, anything that can be defined even. A lot of this comes from post-structural analysis from philosophers like Jacques Derrida. Anything that could be defined, labeled, made definitive is a site of critique that they can disrupt. And the reason they want to teach this stuff to kids is because the educational departments were captured by all these 60s hippies who went in and took this stuff with them. I mean, a lot of the people, there's a famous Marxist philosopher who wrote a really insightful book, Isaac Gottesman, and I think he was at one point out of Indiana State, where he said, where did all the 60s radicals go? Well, they went to the classroom, and he's writing this from the Marxist perspective. They're proud of this. They had nothing left to do. They didn't have the civil rights fights of their time, and they went into education when they couldn't find other jobs. And after that, you see the boom of critical race theory and queer theory and post-colonial theory and all of the other madness. But a lot of this was incubated and funded directly out of the university system. And then, of course, you've got your average lay teacher, which is a common misconception. I get a lot of questions from the book. Well, what do you mean? You mean every teacher believes this? Well, it's like, of course, not every teacher believes this stuff, but they have state mandated curriculum that they have to follow and learning objectives. And those are inspired by this stuff because the professionals in the field, the ones who define what education looks like, they do believe this stuff. They're true believers, so everyone buys into it. And of course,
they're the PhDs who get these useless PhDs,
right.
where they're not scientific at all, and they're the experts. They are the experts on all of this, right? So you have to defer to them.
As a parent, with maybe a high school education or a bachelor's degree, who are you? You don't have any specialty in education. How could you possibly know the most efficacious way to teach a child? And
how could you possibly define what a woman is?
Right? How could you? The most sinister part about this is how they know parents have a problem with this. One of the papers we cover in the book is a couple of teachers talking about how they overcome parental resistance. It's called Navigating Parental Resistance. And they say we hide this stuff in larger units or in learning objectives that we can point to. So when a parent has a problem with something, like reading a book about transgender teens and dildos and all that stuff. Sorry, I don't know where I can go with language on here. But
you can say whatever you want here.
Okay, well, fuck it. When they go there, they can say, well, this is the English language arts curriculum. What else? What other books am I supposed to read other than the transgender dildo book? It's really nefarious. It's structured like a cult because it is a cult. There's this inner layer of the cult that are true believers. They really believe this madness. They're completely gripped by this cult religion. And then there's the people on the outside of it who just think it's what it means to be a good person. I don't really want to bother with it. If someone wants to say they're a boy or say they're a girl, what's the harm in that? They're saying they're going to kill themselves. I mean, maybe we just go along with it. How bad could it be? Yep. That's where most people end up, and most teachers too.
Yeah.
I have never, when it comes to this particular movement, I have been struck at the amount of moral cowardice that's been allowed to fester with this, within this. It's like when people first started with that whole, well, do you want a dead son or a living daughter? If you don't give all of these children, if you don't give your trans children the pronouns and everything they want, or they're going to unalive themselves, they're going to take their own lives. It's like, I understood exactly what that was from the very beginning. It's like, okay, this is emotional abuse.
Yes.
This is emotional abuse. This is literally running in somewhere and demanding something with a gun to your head, saying, if you don't give me what I want right now, I'm going to pull the trigger. And
if you break up with me, I'll kill myself.
Right. If you break up with me, I'll kill myself. Like, it's such wicked emotional manipulation. And I saw what it was from the very beginning. That's like, even before, when I knew what was going on, it was like, y'all, like this, like you're going way too hard with this too early. I remember warning, like this is when I was still a Democrat. I was warning people, like actively, like listen, if you don't get this under control, you're going to, you know, like this is going to go very badly for you. And unfortunately, it has gone bad for them, but just way later than I thought. So, I mean.
And how many thousands of kids got mutilated or put on hormones or put on neutered basically in the meantime?
Yeah, and you mentioned like emotional abuse. People need to understand these are sophisticated social and emotional, everything's social and emotional learning now. Well, there's a reason for that. These are sophisticated social and emotional sledgehammers and carrots. These are cult techniques that they've worked out over decades to really bash people down and use their social milieu to con them into doing something. And the sickest thing about it is most people went along with a lot of this stuff who didn't really believe in it. To your point, it was just a lot of moral cowardice. It was, well, it's not really affecting me. My son or daughter is not suicidal at home, or my son or daughter is not saying they're a different gender identity. So how bad can it be? And part of that was because, our social media landscape at the time was such that those conversations just couldn't be had. If you pointed this stuff out, you were banned, you were blocked. They throttled your accounts. They took down your videos. So you couldn't show other people that, hey, there's a lot of us who disagree with this. Okay. It's not just you. You can come out and you can talk about this. But yeah, the whole program, I mean, that's how we described it in the book. I mean, it's psychological totalism. They totally capture your psychology. I think the technical term in therapy is trauma bonding. They traumatize you, right. And then they bond with you. And I'm the only person who understands you. And this is happening in schools. It's also happening. A lot of it happens online in things like Discord servers. The gaming culture is a lot like that. So yeah, it was really sad to see the moral cowardice. And of course, now everyone's coming out like, oh, I've always been against it. And, what's the big deal? And of course, that's nuts.
Yeah. And I refuse to play along with that. I absolutely no. I remember when you guys were kicking people out of events, kicking people out of, debanking and deplatforming. I will never forget, 5 years ago. Well, no, I'm sorry, 2021. Oh my God, it was coming up on 5 years ago. 5 years ago, when my account was snatched, my Twitter account was snatched because I refused to call a man a woman. It's like, I remember, like, there are things that you cannot take away from people within. So I'm not going to ever let them forget it, especially as we go into, some of the warm weather sports, because there's going to be pride nights coming up, and there's going to be because I don't know if you're much of a sports fan, but this
is wet t-shirt contest with hairy chests.
I wasn't expecting that.
Swimming meets with banana hammocks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when the girls.
I mean, how much of it? Well, I guess the next question.
That's terrible.
Question I have is how much of a retraction are you seeing? I'm trying to think of the right way to ask this question. Are you
going somewhere else now?
Are you seeing any progress in terms of a walking back of this, like in terms of removing the policies, like states, cities removing the policies? Like, I know we're seeing this on the federal level, but are you seeing this where you are trickling down?
A little bit. The problem is, frankly, people didn't understand it the first time around. If they didn't see the name Judith Butler on their child's textbook, and see an image of a dildo in their child's textbook, they thought, well, it must not be here. And we went through this when critical race theory, before all of this, it was, do you have a black square in your account, and the moral cowardice around that. It was, hey, I don't see the words critical race theory in this book. Right. So it must not be there. A big problem facing people people didn't understand it the first time around, and plenty of it is still there. And of course, we know you see videos pop off on X all of the time, secret recordings of people saying, well, yeah, we still do all of it, we just call it different things now. I've got a quote I love to pull up from one of the books I was researching when I was writing The Queering of the American Child. And this one just floored me too, because they in these academic journals and books, they don't think anyone's ever going to read them. Their dissertation committee is going to read it one time, and maybe 2 or 3 colleagues are going to read it. So they do a lot of bragging in them, because they just don't think there's anything wrong with what they're saying. Everyone who's going to read it agrees with them. And this text is about changing language. And this is from the 80s, about changing language to get stuff through. And it says, I'd like to begin by considering the use of the word critical. And by this, they mean critical theory, critical Marxist theory from the Frankfurt tradition. They're writing this in the 80s. To describe pedagogy, to describe teaching, as it has essentially become one of the many code words used to make the political agenda of a course invisible, or at least less visible. This has allowed educators to access public resources in order to further the goals of social justice and education. I mean, this is a common playbook tactic they have. Everything with them is words and who gets to define them. They're constantly redefining words and not telling you about it. They share your language, but they don't share your dictionary. So a lot of this stuff is still going on. Unfortunately, I hear from parents all the time that are in the middle of this. The good thing is there's a mountain of lawsuits that are taking place right now.
Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah, and some of the American medical establishment is walking back a bit. But what they've done is they've just taken all of that energy and now they've moved it into ICE, and ICE Floyd and ICE protests. Because if you know one thing about these people, you must understand that the issue is never the issue. It's always the revolution. It's never the specific thing they're arguing about. I made a song about it because I just need to repeat this over and over and over and over. I got a huge spam label on my Twitter account, on my X account, because I kept saying it. I was like, well, you have to say it 100 times before people pay any attention to it.
Exactly.
But the issue does.
Isaiah says it every week, by the way.
Yeah, the revolution is what matters. So now all of that energy is going in there, and that's why you see things like Queers for Palestine. It's like it's all one big mob.
Chickens for KFC, basically. That's exactly what it is.
It's so tough, man. Like nobody's it's so tough because nobody believes that this is happening. You can't, like, when you tell people this, they look at you like you're a crazy person. And I get it. If you just bring your kids to school and they're just learning, and also that and anything that does come up that's woke is always in the sheep's clothing of social justice. Which who doesn't like social justice? You don't like justice for everybody.
It's
you don't
just
like
empathy.
Yeah, you don't like empathy. You don't like caring about people's feelings. Instead, what they're really doing, of course, is making everybody hate straight white males and trying to queer your kids and trans your kids and making every inch of academia and meaning, any sense meaning in the world, in the West, constantly something you got to bang your head against and fight. So you can't even do anything. You're so frustrated. Or the world just changes in front of you, and you just you're asleep at the wheel. It's brutal. It's honestly brutal.
Real quick, I have one of the people in the chat asked a pretty interesting question. He's like, "What are you drinking, Logan?"
It's a 0 sugar root beer. If you haven't tried it, it's money. Like if you want to drink soda but you don't want all the sugar, 0 sugar A&W it's the best thing out there.
Okay.
Right. Drinking the hard stuff.
I have some beers, but I wasn't sure if that was kosher on here, so I didn't bring them.
Listen, we are.
Bro, I've snorted coke on my keyboard on this show 4 times.
He has, and we had a glass of wine on the show last night.
Just kidding. Everybody never did that. Never did that. Police officers.
This asshole here. He says Isaiah drinks Steel Reserve. Why? Because I'm black.
No, I drink. Or I used to drink Steel Reserve. I said that last week.
You did, right?
My brother still does.
Listen,
back when I was a young man, when I was a teenager.
Listen, the only thing you do with Steel Reserve is you beer batter fish. Dead serious. I'm dead serious. Malt liquor. Bro, I'm dead ass. Like,
Not Steel Reserve. Not Steel Reserve though. Steel Reserve's rough, dude.
dude,
Steel Reserve's like 9% alcohol.
you have to you beer batter fish with like Colt 45 or any of them malt liquors.
No.
Serious.
Dude, you waterboard terrorists with that shit.
I mean that too.
I think a 40 when I was in college, I think a 40 of Steel Reserve or Colt 45, it was like less than $1. I swear, it was so cheap. So that's what everyone drank because it was just so cheap.
My broke ass was buying it in college.
Oh, right. Oh, man.
Because I liked it.
Wait a minute. Our friend Jessanne, Jessanne, who is I don't know, you know Jessanne, don't you, Nino?
I don't think so.
This is Jessanne is Joshua Slocum of the Disaffected Podcast. This is his sister.
Oh yeah. That's right. I remember. Yes, she was introduced before. Yes.
We love you.
Jessanne.
We love you. You're incredible.
Remember you.
Your brother still looks like Jason Stanley, but we love him anyway.
Tell your brother I'm going to send him some DPs later.
Oh shit.
I don't know.
I know what he loves.
Oh man, you know what?
you know Josh Slocum, Logan?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
It's Disaffected Pod.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Disaffected.
Yep. He's a friend of the pod. A
Yes.
very gay friend of the pod. So that's why.
Very.
And he likes to he likes to flirt with me. So
Yes.
Nice.
I get what he wants.
Osborne, our friend, he says, "Hey Logan, it's your Gen Spec buddy.
Yeah.
Tell the guys about your terrific speech." Oh,
Yeah, let's hear about it.
Hey, Matt.
We'll talk about that in a second, but I want to go back to something you had talked about earlier about how schools these days are about bringing kids into trauma.
Yeah.
Corey DeAngelis found this earlier today, and I'm gonna play this. It's a 45-second clip, and first off, this does look about white, and there is the token black woman in the background if you can see her. Okay, breaking Florida, and this is happening in Florida. This is like the worst fucking place to do this. The Florida Teachers Union says children protesting immigration enforcement is required.
Oh, that's critical pedagogy.
Yeah, let's listen to this. Hold on, here we go.
How does this happen in Florida? I don't get this,
are
man.
confronted with videos of ICE raids, of families being torn apart, and of Americans being murdered for using their constitutional rights. They respond. They organize. They speak out. And they do what American students have always done in moments of injustice. They stand together and demand safety for their peers, their families, and themselves. And that response, while framed by some politicians as radical, is rather reasonable. It's rational. And in a moment like this, it is required. To any students being told that they do not have the right to speak out or walk out on their campus, I want to be clear. This is the United States of America. You do not shed your First Amendment rights when you step foot through the schoolhouse. Florida students are...
Man, they really love the Constitution when it comes to protesting everything on earth.
They love
it.
They own your kids, folks.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Logan.
I don't understand. This is when I started to get into all of this. What I could not understand is people seeing videos like that every single day and thinking, that's so wild, that's so weird, that makes no sense. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. I see it again the next day. I'm going to rage tweet about this. And then, okay, I still don't understand it. Like, I had to understand and make sense of that. And that is perfectly sensible once you understand how education generally works in education. And that's through critical pedagogy. And we write a lot about that in the book. It's not a lot of time to get super in depth with it, but a core component of critical pedagogy, going all the way back to Marx saying that philosophers have hitherto only tried to understand the world. The point, however, is to change it, is to use education as a mediator for political literacy, but then do something with it. So we're not only going to brainwash your children and program them with our cult religious ideology, but then they have to act on it. But that's why we call this a religion. It's a series of beliefs and practices that answer fundamental questions about the reality, our reality, and the nature of man, such that it gives rise to duties of conscience. That's James's definition that he's derived from jurisprudence from the Supreme Court, and it fits. And that's exactly what this is.
Repeat that one more time, please. Repeat that. Those three markers are very, very important. So please go through those one more time.
Yeah, it's a system of beliefs and practices that answers fundamental questions about the nature of reality and man's role in it, such that it gives rise to duties of conscience. So it's you've got to be politically literate in the way we want you to be politically literate, and then we're going to traumatize you and radicalize you, so you literally cannot exist in the world in your own body until you go out and try and change it in the pre-prescribed ways that we've set out for you. Herbert Marcuse, from the Frankfurt School lineage, and he's a huge name in the 60s for those who aren't aware. In large part, he's the architect of the New Left. He said that you've got to get people to a point where they physically cannot function in society, where they cannot handle the system any longer. They can't tolerate it. They can't live in it. So the only thing left to do is to overthrow it and become a radical revolutionary. And that's what critical pedagogy is designed to do in the classroom. This doesn't surprise me, because in the 80s, people were, I've got examples in the book from the 80s of high school teachers taking, their classes to communist protests. So it's like, it's mostly the same thing. But they put flowery language on it, and they use your values against you all the time. So it's, hey, this is your first this is your constitutional right. Of course you can go out and do this, and you shouldn't be in the classroom. It's just absurd.
Yeah, that's
go ahead, Nino.
That's crazy. I mean, I
have an example of what
they're talking about. You have to change the world. Like, why? I mean, the world's going to change regardless. Everybody's going to do things that's going to help change the world, hopefully one way or the other, hopefully in a good way. But it seems like the goal is to tear things down. It's like,
yes, and
replace it with what? With what's constantly failed with horrific death toll and repression. And it's crazy to me. Like, they have to like you said, they have to tear down what is already works for most people. It really does in America. Like, even if you're pretty poor, you don't starve, you usually can get health care, you don't even have to work, and you can get on even you could be an illegal immigrant and not work and be on welfare here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not maybe the best life potentially, but God, it's better than most people's lives in the whole world. And it's so we got to destroy that system? Really? It's just, I mean, I don't there's no perspective. There's no historical perspective, and because they're radicalizing these kids to think that they're living like the most unjust, terrible country in the world of all time, when it's actually 100% the opposite.
Right. Yeah. They're in the top 0.0000001% of human beings to have ever existed on planet Earth. And it's like, my frappuccino's a little bit too hot. Time to overthrow society.
Yeah. And it's like, exactly. And it's like, you should blame your college professors and woke administrators for putting, because this is probably one of the big things that they can complain about, is that they're in $100,000 to $200,000 worth of debt for learning crazy radical horseshit. Right. Where they literally come out knowing less about the world, having less of a sense of reality, coming out more ignorant, and then now they're in $100,000 to $200,000 worth of debt. That's not capitalism, though. That's their teachers' fault in a way. Their parents' fault maybe in a way for pushing, but it's really the universities being greedy. It's the universities being very greedy and corrupt.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, my whole thing is, these kids can't read. These kids can't read. They can't write. They can't do math.
They don't know their history at all.
They have absolutely no idea about their history. They have no idea how to spend money. They are literally, they like you said earlier, they are not equipped to live in real life. And what does that look like?
There is somebody they could blame. There's people they could blame for that, and it's the Democrats and the left who have been corrupting education. I mean, that's. And
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you exactly what
they're right to be pissed about that.
I'm gonna show y'all what that looks like. This happened on Friday. Okay, Nick Sordor posted this Friday afternoon. Youths in Baltimore, my hometown, have taken over major streets in the city under the guise of anti-ICE activism. I saw some of this earlier in that same day in New York City before I went to work. But I know exactly where this is, right? This is Eastern Avenue. These kids got let out of Patterson High School. Patterson High School for many years was considered one of the best high schools in Baltimore. Okay? This is on the I-95 overpass. I know exactly where this is. That's heading in towards the city. To the left of that is a Wawa. We go to that Wawa all the time, but at least my parents do. This is what this is what your children are doing. They can't read, they can't write, they can't do math, but they are set out like dogs to do this.
Donald Trump.
Can't read, can't write, can't do math, but they can show up to a protest whenever one of these adult assholes in like one of their administrators or teachers sets them out to. As a native of Baltimore, I grew up not too far. I grew up like from the age of 10 on up. I grew up not too far from there, and it just breaks my heart to see something like that go on in a place that I know pretty well. Logan,
Do you know that did they just release the schools? Is that like a whole classroom kind of thing, or is that like kids came out of school afterwards and a few of them decided to go protest, or was that like a organized, like teachers are getting their classrooms to go out? Because I've seen videos of that at least look like that as well.
I personally believe that there's nothing organic about this, because I actually hold on, because I have a video from.
It's so messed up, man. It's so easy to get kids to do stuff like that too. All you gotta do is get them all heated and tell them to go. Like half those kids don't give a shit or have any idea what's going on.
They have no idea.
They've been told that Trump is mean to Latino immigrants or something, and that's all they need. That's all they had to be told. Like you're gonna get out of school. Woo! We're gonna be going crazy together as a classroom. We're gonna try to impress each other's friends, impress the girl you like. That's the way kids are thinking at that age. But they make it look like there's like a real political movement. It drives me crazy, man. This is really it's terrible.
I caught this like that same day. This is in Union Square. This is in Midtown Manhattan. Okay,
oh, yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, I got this. I got this myself.
Yeah, fat hobbit.
Yeah, look at this. Well, look what we have here. I think I'm gonna get me some content. Look at this.
Jesus Christ, they know how to pick them, huh?
Looks about white. Few Hispanics.
privilege
Oh, wait,
shit.
That lady was back.
The dirty look that lady gave me, and it was like, yo, she was like,
Yeah, there it is.
oh, man, that was bad, dude. There's nothing about this that's organic whatsoever. And all of this, and all of this is, I mean, a lot of people, I feel like, over the last several years have focused on the sexual aspects of, of what queering is. Like they focus on, the sexualization of children by teachers and administrators, and then in college, professors and all that kind of stuff. But the queering comes also in just the basic education. Again,
Yes.
Kids can't fucking read. They can't read. They can't write. They can't do math. They can barely boil fucking water. These kids, they're on these all day long. They're on screens. The screens are raising the kids, and they're getting absolutely no education from the schools. The parents, what fucking parents? These parents basically treat schools, and I'm saying this, and I have my own biases because my wife is a teacher. These parents are treating these schools like fucking daycare.
They offshored their parenting to schools.
They're offshoring their Yeah, exactly. They're offshoring their parenting to schools. We got a little bit more time with you. I want to talk about some of these. I want to talk about some of these tracks that you came up with.
Real quick, if I can, because we had a really important point that was brought up that a lot of people are confused by, and it's the fact that none of this is organic. Like, you look into any one of these protests, none of it is just concerned people, who think a certain way about the political climate or a certain issue and just decide to get together in protest. It is all highly organized with millions of dollars behind it, and the purpose of it is to make it look spontaneous. So for the casual observer who's watching it on CNN or CNS or CNBC, wherever they're watching it, they think, oh, look, yeah, people are taking to the streets. They really care about this. Maybe I'm talking about moral clarity and cowardice earlier. Maybe I'm a bad person. Why don't I care as much about it like these people are? But it's all designed. They have playbooks. I've been tweeting a lot about these recently. Rules for Radicals, Beautiful Trouble. It's a stage play, and this ties into a lot of the songs because I wrote a few about this, because you have to understand it's a theatrical production for them. Everything is done intentionally. Nothing is left to chance. Even when people are shot or run over by agents, that's what they want. That's designed. That helps their cause in their stage play and what they're selling.
Can I play one of those songs? I have one here. This is Toy Soldiers. I think this explains. This is. I mean, I also know of the other song where you're. I can't remember. The issue is never the issue, but this one in particular, I think, has a lot to do with what we're talking about. So I'll play a minute. I'll play like the first couple, like the first minute or so of it.
They raided a church service, take the flamethrower, aim it and burn vermin. I have to abdicate my worst urges and purge my anger like a nerve surgeon in the third person. Leftists are upset, go figure. Possessed by demons and old fixtures, workers of the world unite. They feel it in their bones, blisters and stone slippers. So trigger with their fingers in the nose digging until the dome splinters, they're so bitter. Bang! Okay, snap out of it. Understand what happened, but don't back down again. They planned that attack, chose the target to get a reaction you won't get far with. They had professional cameras and Don mic'd up, shooting the action as the bombs fly down and the psalms fly shut. The dust settles and they're screaming banzai rush, while the audience pays in online blood. But the flock didn't buy it, didn't side with the violent. The ones online crying about how they would have stomped on Don and his fine friends. The left wants you emotional like them, easily manipulated like them, easily instigated right when the mic drops, the fight ends. Bent out of shape because a few left. It stole your vision and made the light bend in the bright red. I know we wanna fight back, wanna fall for the lie and tie brass around our knuckles with a left hook and a right jab. Let the sand fly with the nice gash and an eye black. But that is stepping onto their stage, onto their play, where you wear a comical face, becoming a very scary, ominous gaze that the audience at home sees flocking to flame. You're supposed to be angry, race.
This is all I gotta say is whatever you might
A Drama King exclusive.
exactly.
Early 2000s, every track was like that. Yeah.
I gotta know. First off, how did you do
That's
that?
pretty good, man. That's
Yeah,
what got you? Were you a rapper before?
Yeah.
Or were you what did
No,
got you into this?
Well, I've been writing songs for about 18 years now. I've always written songs. Yeah, and there's a couple old albums floating around out there that I don't advertise anymore because I've gotten a lot better since then. But I've been a songwriter for a long time. And recently, these AI music generators have gotten exceptionally good. You know, people think you go to a music generator and you type in, give me a song about Charlie Kirk, enter, and it spits out a masterpiece. But I've got 2 young kids. I don't have time to go to a studio. It's very expensive. I'm not buying the equipment at home. But these generators have gotten to a point where you can perform the song, upload the file, and then, you could pick someone else's voice. You can engineer the songs with precise instrumentation, the melody you want, the chords you want, and of course your own lyrics. So the whole album up front, for those who don't know, is AI generated. It's all my writing, but it's not typing in. I mean, this took a couple months to put together. It's not just typing it in and saying go. It's these studios now allow you to go into a studio, so you can select portions of the track, change instrumentation, mess with EQ, whatever it is. But then you can also record your own performance. They're not all my own performance, but a lot of the rapping ones are, because the studios, they can't quite nail that yet. They really struggle with hip hop specifically, because the more technical you get. My writing's really technical. I did a breakdown on X the other day where I just kind of did all of the rhymes that are in between bars, and it's pretty crazy. But I've been doing it a long time, so it allowed me. The technology finally got to a point where I was like, I love making music. I've written hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs over the years. I'm at a place where, hey, I think with my experience in the direction I've gone in the last 5 years, I've got some stuff to say about these movements that I think can reach people in a different way, because it's really hard to get people to pick up one of these and have them. If you can get them emotionally and keep the message relatively simple, but also entertain them, that's really what it was. It was an experiment to say, okay, I like writing, I enjoy it, I'm doing it anyway. But now there's virtual studios I can work in to craft precisely the songs I want and get them out there and see if that can entertain people while teaching them something. So that's the story behind the album.
So is that how your voice sounds like, or did you
no
AI
that is
make
much
it
better, crispy,
make it sing better or something, or
yeah,
okay,
100 times better than my voice.
Do you have to record it with a good microphone, or could you just do it on your phone and then the AI will make it sound studio quality?
I'm sure you could. I'm sure it's good enough to do it on your phone. I've got a Blue Yeti that I use. I do have some old recording equipment. It's 10 years old now. But yeah, a fun fact I learned while I was doing that, because again, most people, as soon as you say AI, they think, you took 10 seconds and generated a complex song, which is just, it's not that. But 50% of the music on Spotify today, 50% of it is AI. More music is
what?
More, yeah. So everyone's already listening to it. They're already listening to it. There is more music uploaded to Spotify daily, made by AI, than all of the music released by all human beings in 1984. Daily. So and that was somewhere, maybe you can bring me back. I'd love to come back for an AI talk, because that's kind of been one of my chief focuses recently.
Yeah, we should do that, man. I also been a musician since I was a teenager, Logan. I did
Oh, really?
I was a Singer in a
Oh,
punk
nice.
band, singer in hard rock. I did some rap stuff. Yeah, man, I did it all. I think I might be doing something else. Let me know if you ever want to do a collabo, man.
Okay.
Come together like Meth and Red.
Yeah, there you go. With AI, for maybe next time, the thing I wanted to say is, a lot of people, because I've been focusing on it a lot, like to make comments, and I understand where they're coming from. They just haven't used it yet. But like, I'm never going to go for this. I'm not going to opt into this, and that's fine. But you're already using applications, right? Today that you don't know, most of the code is written by AI. You're listening to music. You're consuming pictures and video. The AI takeoff with these new models, Opus 4.6 and OpenAI's Codex, they're this. The curve went like this in the last 2 weeks, and you're about to see an insane explosion. The analogy I used online the other day was people want to debate about whether or not the plane should exist, but the landing gear's up, and you're in the plane already. And you better learn how to fly it and get ahead of the plane, because if you stay behind the plane and sit arguing every day about, I'm not going to consume this content, I'm never going to use this, you're going to end up on air disasters. And that sounds terrible, but these models can be placed, these open source models can be placed on a MacBook Mini now. If all the AI labs, if it was a bubble, if they all went defunct tomorrow, it would not change a thing. They're already there. The genie's out of the lamp. You can't go backwards. So that's another thing I'm passionate about, that I'm look for more from me in the future about that, because I want people to, I don't have a course to sell for AI. I'm not making any money from talking about this. There's no sponsors. I just want people who listen or take a look at my X to understand you really should start using this stuff like today. I know there's some friction still, so you're going to be a couple years ahead of the curve, because if you introduce just the slightest amount of friction, most people are out and they're like, I can't learn that, it's too complicated. Yeah. But you can, and you should, because the world's about to change, and it's going to change super fast. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to wake up in a new world thinking, what the hell happened, like we did with all of this other garbage.
Exactly. And
so
and that's,
look, we definitely got to have you on to talk about that. I want to ask you actually to bring it together. What how do you think this AI, since you said, we're in the plane, it's happening already. How's the AI gonna, like, how's it gonna interface with wokeness? You think it's gonna accentuate it? You think it's gonna in some ways fight it? Is it gonna make things worse or better when it comes to that stuff?
It's gonna make it way worse, because this is what's gonna happen. It's already happening. Is every single child is gonna have a phone that is their person. They're going to have an AI on it from one of these major companies. That's all of their education is going to be done through that. They're going to be talking to it like they watch TikTok videos. It's going to be their personal tutor. They're not going to do any of their own thinking anymore. And all of these models draw from their training sets, from the information that already exists. And all of the information that exists already is supportive of wokeness and queer theory and critical race theory and all of the
pulling from college papers and stuff
and PhDs. That's what these models were trained on. Now, they have gotten better. If you remember with OpenAI, you used to say, show me George Washington, and you get George Washington.
Yeah.
Don't do it anymore. But if you ask them pointed philosophical questions or try and debate them about the last 50 years of philosophy or academics, they won't take it. It's like, no, you are wrong, and this is why you're wrong. So it's going to be personalized tutors for every kid. That's where all of the major publishing houses are going, and that's another reason you need to learn how to use these tools, because you can't stop it if you don't understand how they work. You can't protect your children if you don't understand how they work. You can't protect yourself. I see people all the time. Have you seen Boomer Book lately? Like, every video is so clearly fake, and they're all falling for it. And they're like, oh,
I know, man, terrible. It's tough. My parents, drive me crazy.
Well, you know what, Logan? You've been a big help. We got to have you back on for like a couple hours.
Definitely want to talk AI. Definitely, and we should also do another episode with him with James Lindsay. If you can get them both on, that'd be great.
Yo, that'd be great. That'd be great to have the both of you.
I don't have as much time. I got to get the kids down. It's been
it's all good. I know that life, brother. I know.
Bro, it's all good. What do you? Anything else you want to promote? Anything else you want to just talk about before you leave?
Yeah, it's we've got The Queering of the American Child. I think it's a excellent book to explain the state of things and how we got here. I don't make much money from it. I found this out the hard way. When you publish books, you make pennies on the dollar. So I'm not saying this to make money, honestly. it's a fantastic resource and a great book. If you're interested, I would pick that up. Available at fine bookstores everywhere as long as it's Amazon. Factory Reset is available at loganlansing.com for free. You don't need to buy it. You can stream every song just by clicking on them. It's also on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, all those places. And then you can find me on X at Logan Lansing. But thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it, guys. It was nice to meet you in person.
Great to meet
pleasure,
you,
Logan.
brother. Thank you for coming on. Our love to you and your kids, and your whole family, brother. We love you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Take care, brother.
Later, fellas.
Later. Yeah, we got to have him back.
Jeez, man, he lit a fire under my ass, man, about AI. I gotta.
Yeah,
that
makes two of us. That makes two of us.
I'm definitely. I've definitely been using it a little bit, but probably not as much as I should.
I've been using it for like to create our thumbnails for the show.
Yeah, I use it for research and stuff, and for shopping. Yeah. Actually, it's great for shopping with like if I was like looking to buy like a snow blower or whatever, like something that's a kind of a bigger purchase, and you're like, hey, like, you know, let me know what's a quality, high good reviews, durable, whatever. Like you have a list of parameters, and it'll give you a bunch of links of things and explain why this one's better, this one might be better for you, this one's better based on your budget. And I'll do it on both like ChatGPT and Gemini, and Perplexity apparently is pretty good too. And, you know, see if you can see some overlap, and then you probably got, you know, a good, it just helps you like narrow down the options with shopping, at least.
Yeah. You have some people are saying that my audio is cutting out. I don't know. Some people are.
I think you've been pretty good. You just froze there for a second, but I don't think it's been Isaiah, let me know if it's ever me.
Yeah,
let me know.
Of course.
Because I got headphones on too. I don't know if like I'm coming in not well, or let me know.
Yeah. So I do want to talk about one thing. There's been a couple of things that
Master Shake talking shit, man. Master Shake up in here. Wait a second.
He is, and I don't know why.
Don't put him guest on the plug books that are 3 years old. Master Shake, shut up, man. Listen to me. Hey, listen to me, Master Shake. First of all, you don't come on our show every week and tell us what to do, even though what you do every week is come on our show and tell us what to do. But don't do that. But you can do that, but don't do it. Now listen.
Is our show.
This is our show. Second of all, how you think most people did not read that book, most likely, so he could plug it right now. It's still as relevant as ever.
Exactly. And by the way, I did find out who Master Shake is. Master Shake is one of Karlin Borisenko's friends.
Oh, she has friends?
Yeah, hard to believe, right?
That's good. Good for her. I'm happy about it. Everybody needs friends. Everybody needs friends.
Yeah, she's got like 5 or 6 of them. You know, then the rest are cultists, but you know that's okay. I mean, they came here. They came here for a little bit of a little bit of narcissistic supply, and and they got it. So, anywho, listen, we got other things to get to tonight. Unfortunately, Logan could only be with us for an hour, but we've got a couple things I want to get to real quick. If there's anything that I've learned over the last several years, okay, it is that the left are so incredibly racist.
Oh,
I'm talking like
that's for damn sure.
Racist to the point where they are literally they're giving out N-word. Black leftists are giving out N-word passes to white liberals who are out here protesting ICE and coming across black federal agents. What am I talking about? Well, Teray, Teray Neblett, who is a former MSNBC host. I remember.
Oh, of course he is.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. That makes perfect sense now.
He is he was a hip hop journalist for many years. Wrote a couple of books on Prince. Like, I know who this guy was. I actually met him in person. pretentious dick, you know, like you can imagine. But this guy goes and says that it's okay for white leftists, the white leftists that you see. I've heard them referred to like the ones in Minnesota, where they're being referred to as rabid responders, like rapid responder, but then they have rabid responders. Toure says that, matter of fact, the context behind this is in regards to the black federal agent who got called a house N-word on video a couple of weeks ago. Toure decides, let me go and immolate the rest of my career. You see him a lot on CNN now, and he's giving out N-word passes. Here we go. I've got, like, you've got to see this. You've got to see this. Hold on, let me add this here, because this is insane. I don't think I've ever heard a rationale this nuts. Here we go.
99.9% of the time, it is wrong for a white person to call a black person the N-word, but we may have found the exception. In Minneapolis recently, a white anti-ICE protester was in a group of anti-ICE protesters yelling at a black ICE Gestapo agent. An unidentified white male called the black ICE agent a house N-word who's working for the KKK.
Now, I want to just go back to, I want people to understand he's already entering in bad faith with this. When he starts calling the ICE agent, he calls him a black Gestapo agent. He's already setting the bad faith.
Protesters yelling at a black ICE Gestapo agent. An unidentified white male called the black ICE agent a house N-word who's working for the KKK. That's right, we have a white man calling a black man the N-word. But this is a little bit different. White on black.
Now, hold on a second. I got to stop it again. Whenever, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you hear one of these people, whenever you hear a fucking leftist talk about it's more complicated than that, or, well, things aren't what they seem, they're going to present their dog shit to you as their argument. Now, I'm going to let the rest of this play through, and then Nino, I want to get your thoughts on this afterwards. But yeah, this is insanity.
Usage of the N-word is a very serious issue. But this is a curveball example. Is it wrong for a white person to call a black ICE officer a house N-word? Let's explore. The white man who used the N-word in this situation was being historically precise. This black ICE agent, he is being a house N-word to the utmost degree. A black man in ICE is a modern house slave. He's a barely paid mule for white supremacy. The KKK were domestic terrorists.
A modern house slave. So you work as a federal immigration officer, and you're at the same thing as being a house slave? How could that be? I mean, you're defending the laws of the country from illegal immigrants. So oftentimes they're like violent criminals, you know, or at least the ones they're going after. Violent criminals, sex offenders, fraudsters, and that's your job, and you're probably getting paid like six figures for it at this point for these jobs. And you're also a house slave. Like, I mean, how retarded do you have to be to say that shit out loud and then record yourself and then put that out on the internet? Toure, like, how retarded do you have to be for that?
As a black man, I'm disgusted by that. I'm going to say this. As a black man, as someone who I have law enforcement, I have members of law enforcement in my immediate family. My dad is a retired correctional officer. I have a lot of respect for law enforcement. I always have. And it disgusts me that black men who are given to duty or whatever, okay, that motivates them to get involved, to actually do work like this. For these fucking house, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because I'm black and I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy some privilege. For these porch monkey house niggas to sit up here like Teray and talk crazy.
This is a fucking cartoon, man.
To give N-word passes to white leftists, because to them, that black ICE agent is a servant of power. That to me is absolutely disgusting. That is communist reversal right there.
Yeah.
It is disgusting to me. Black men, I have said this right now, black men to the Democrat Party, unless you are gay or dead, they have absolutely no use for us. We need to every black man who might be listening to this show. I am saying it right now. The Democrat Party only wants you if you are gay or dead. They have no use for you if you are a heterosexual. Years ago, or in the Root, Damon Young wrote a piece that said that the piece was straight black men are the white people, black people. Black men have been called bullet bags. They have been called trash. They have been called all sorts of evil by black leftists, by black feminists / womanists, all of them. Okay, I have seen some of the most hideous things said about straight black men on Twitter. I have seen guys like George M. Johnson, just a real bastard, talking about, basically bragging about turning out black men that he met playing video games. Are you fucking kidding me? And you want us to vote for this? You want us to support a political party that has that level of contempt? Did we forget? What happened when Barack Obama went and got black and tried to talk shit to black men who were working on Kamala Harris's campaign as to why you ain't getting your fellow. You might as well just say, why ain't you getting your fellow niggas in line to vote for this woman? This Indian woman that you subverted the entire fucking primary process for, and this is what black men have to deal with from the Democrat Party?
Not only that, brother. Hey, listen,
it's disgusting.
And we're talking about, it's been a theme, right, of this the ICE protests, like the left putting their useful idiots in line to get hurt, right? What do you think's going to happen if you have different people, whether it's white people, people of different races, calling black officers N-words? It seems like these ICE officers had a lot of self-control, but eventually one of them is going to they might start hit the person, attack the person, maybe lose their cool and shoot somebody. I don't know if that would happen, but things can escalate. So you're just creating new, Tori, you stupid motherfucker. You're creating new permissions and giving people terrible advice. Hey, call these ICE agents who are under constant harassment by paid protesters and communists, whistling, throwing shit at them, hitting their cars, death threats, and then also call them N-words. It's like, you want these guys to get hurt, you stupid bastard.
He does want them hurt.
They do, because that's the revolution.
These are they actively. We are talking about people
super irresponsible.
Not even think of this. Not even a week ago, these people were screaming about the last 2 seconds of a video in which Barack and Michelle were portrayed as monkeys. And it wasn't even the actual video. It was the autoplay of the next video.
Yeah, right.
And for those of you who may hold on, like I actually have the video. I want to actually bring up the video that for context sake, I want to bring up the video that Teray was talking about, and maybe, you know, people, those of you in the chat, if you can explain whether or not this is a good thing, whether or not this is acceptable, we could talk about it afterwards.
But smart, advisable. Yeah.
Like we should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man? Got him.
I mean, you first off, the fact that you got this transformer standing right in front of you, and most of them are white anyways, and he's standing here trying to lecture this black man on with this obviously hormoned voice, talking like, does that feel good to rip families away, to rip families apart? And here we go.
House nigga here. Fucking house nigga here. Sir, I need to move. Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK. What the fuck's wrong with you people?
Why are you calling a woman a man?
I
mean, what kind of guy does that?
Make believe land over here.
See, in Teray's world, that's, you know, shit like this is a-okay. That's just fine.
That's how things escalate, man. That's how things escalate. And props to that officer for keeping his cool, not biting. They should try to, you know, definitely try not to bite and give them more what they want, that's what they want. They want to get killed, somebody get killed, somebody get hurt, because they don't give a shit about each other. They don't care about these protesters. Like, whoever's paying them is in the communist revolution, the movement. That's the only thing that matters. They can break as many eggs as they want, as they've always done in every country that's ever been done, where they just let millions of people die. And then they also kill the most, right? Is this right, Isaiah? Like, they usually kill the most communist of them once the communists get power, because those people are annoying, and they want another revolution. They want perfection. They want purity. So, like, you know what? Those people are fucking annoying. Let's get rid of them. They're annoying. There is no constitution to protect them.
The revolution is never meant to end. The communist revolution, you can read any paper. The communist revolution is always meant to keep going. It's never meant to stop. They again, any type of status quo, the status quo is automatically considered right wing to these people. Okay, that's what this is, folks. Anything that's considered, once like you get to a comfortable place, they figure, well, the status quo is now right wing, so now we've got to keep the revolution going. We got to keep things moving. We always have to move. It's disgusting. These people are psychotic, and they're racist, and they know they're racist. But there's one other thing, and I really want people to get this too. Chris Olin has a great point here. He says, straight out of Rules for Radicals, the real action is the enemy's reaction. Absolutely.
That's right, Chris.
Yeah, let me just go through a couple of these, because some people have brought up some really good points here. Monkey Trump 24, I know this, brother. Thank you. Shout to him. He said, Barack changed his name to McGilla Gorilla, and Big Mike went with Great Baby. Oh God, oh boy. And he says, and Hurt Chain 5844 says, imagine if the roles were reversed. It's so reprehensible. You're right. The NGOs keep pushing communist tactics on America. CIA also. The CIA, the NGOs, and all of this, like we are in the midst, like, folks, all of this color revolution shit that's been happening over the last year and a half, 2 years. This is stuff that the CIA and the intelligence community and USAID, they've been pushing this shit in other countries. They've been doing color revolutions like this for years. It's our turn. And we're going to talk about, actually, do you want to talk, you want to do the Marco Rubio speech last? Because
yeah,
because there's something else. There's something else that I want to bring that I want to talk about real quick, and that's this reversal that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton have gone on illegal immigration. I think this is hilarious. I think it's absolutely. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's like you've got these people, the same ones, these same Democrats who have benefited, who have been the sole beneficiaries of all of this illegal immigration, are now starting to walk it back. And they're starting to walk it back. It's so crazy because, and I'm trying to find it, but it's like so you want to appear. Here we go. From the America Twitter page, it says that Hillary Clinton admits mass migration has been destabilizing to society. It, quote, it went too far. It's been disruptive and destabilizing. You got to hear it to believe this.
I think we need to call it for what it is.
Secretary
There is a
Clinton.
legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far. It's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed in a humane way with secure borders that don't torture and kill people. I think we need to call.
Can you believe that?
Yeah,
a total 180. A total 180. And meanwhile,
and to be fair, Isaiah, to Hillary and Barack Obama, they did used to say this shit back in the day. They did, and I could get behind Democrats like that if they were just common sense. I might vote for one like that. Not the ones who are thinking open borders, perfect borders don't mean anything. We live on stolen land where everything we have is from colonial oppression and white supremacy as a country. And obviously, hey, one of our big priorities is to trans your kids. Also, let's arrest people 30 fucking 8 times until they finally kill somebody because we refuse to actually punish them or put them away at all. But to get back to it, Hillary did say this back in the day, and then they were silent for about 10, 12 years, getting fully woke. So give her credit for that when it's due. But it's crazy, like when she says things like, this it's destabilizing, right, and disrupting. It's like, why? That's true. She's 100% right. So why are we like letting Democrats off the hook for destabilizing the country and disrupting the country and our culture and our lives so much? Why do we let them off the hook for that? Like, why is that? She just said it herself. She just said that shit herself. So why do we let Biden and the far left, the Mamdanis of the world, the AOCs of the world, Bernie, who used to actually be against legal immigration too, why do we let them off the hook? Why does the media let them off the hook of this literally intentionally destabilizing our country and putting us at risk?
Because they all benefit. The media, the media and the Democrat Party are collectively the enemy of the people. Okay. And matter of fact, I'm going to also include weak ass Republicans in that mix as well. Okay. We are dealing with monsters. And here's what's I really want people to also understand this too. Do not be fooled by anything these fucking Democrats say. Barack Obama and Bill Clinton both deported more people from this country than Trump has combined. Like both, like Trump in either one of his terms has not come close to the amount of people that Obama and Clinton deported from this country. And when they were doing it, they were blaming Republicans for wanting cheap labor. I remember this. This is when we were teenagers. When we were teenagers going in our 20s, right? They were blaming Republicans for wanting cheap labor. They were talking about the Koch brothers, all this other shit, right?
Yep, Koch brothers. Because it would bring, they didn't want it because it would lower wages for the working class, which is true.
Exactly. And it's and then the reason why, but let's be very, very clear about this. The reason they do all of this is because even though Trump has not deported nearly as many people as either one of them did, y'all should remember when Obama was getting called the deporter in chief, right? Y'all remember that. Okay. The reason why they are so against ICE right now is because the opposition to Trump is the first and only thing these people that's on their minds. They must oppose Donald Trump at all costs. But they know that the general public are watching them like hawks. They know we don't trust a fucking thing they're saying. So you know what they're doing now? They now have to lie. They now have to pretend like they're moderates. They now have to pretend like they didn't cause the mass migration nonsense in the first place during the Biden administration. So now,
and the media lets them get away with it. The media lets them get away with it.
The media, fuck the media. The media is letting them get away with it, but it's even worse.
Indeed.
It's even worse because, and here's why I want, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand this. The reason why they are moderating now is so they have somewhat of a chance in the midterms. This is the Virginia trap. This is the Virginia trap. I am calling it right now, the Virginia trap. And why do I call it the Virginia trap? Because all you got to do is look at what Abigail Spanberger did to win the governor's race in the Commonwealth of Virginia. She pretended to be a moderate. The mask almost slipped at that governor's debate against Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears. The mask almost slipped, but then as soon as Spanberger got elected, as soon as she got sworn into office, you see this gigantic raft of bills. And maybe I'm on vacation from work this week. Maybe one of these days I'm going to go through like the whole slate of bills that they're trying to ram through down there. But the bottom line is they will pretend to be moderate to get people to lure people back. And then the second they get sworn back in, it's going to be 2022 all over again. I'm telling y'all right now, that is the trap. I am calling it the Virginia trap. You can call it, if you want to, you can call it the New Jersey trap. I don't care. But folks, that's what's happening right now. It's the Virginia trap. Go ahead, Nino.
Yeah, man. And you said that it's, the chance that like they'll win. They have a great chance to win a lot of seats in the midterms because that's how it goes usually. With the president, whoever's in power, usually they lose a lot of seats in the midterms, like whoever's in the White House. So there's a great chance it's going to happen. There's also been a lot of negative press with the ICE, and obviously negative press with everything Trump does. Honestly, there's just everything he does. The media just acts like it's the worst thing that ever happened on earth ever. And a lot of people are fooled by it. A lot of boomers and Gen Xers and other millennials and everybody. Everybody who happens to watch their news and their legacy media. So people need to vote, man. Republicans, libertarians, disaffected liberals, Democrats that that are sick of the wokeness and don't want to see their kids trans and don't think open borders is a good idea. You got to go out there and vote locally and for local elections. You got to vote for national elections. It does not just presidential elections because they already own all the institutions. So, you need to keep power where you can and undermine them where you can because they're intentionally destroying the country in the West. Like it's a fact.
Yeah. They are destroying the West. They've been working on this. They've been working on this project for years. Okay. And what they're doing now, I mean, the reason why they got away with it, the stuff that they got away with in Virginia, like their attorney general literally said, the attorney general who they voted in, right? They voted in a guy who literally said he wanted to kill Republicans.
He wanted to kill specifically his opponent and his kids.
Yeah, he wanted to kill. He said he wanted openly to kill Jason Miyares.
And he still got elected.
Still voted for him. Y'all still voted. Y'all still. He is the attorney general. He is the chief law enforcement officer in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and he flat out said, "I want to kill Republicans," and you still voted for him.
It's just it's unbelievable.
This is a very, very, very big problem, and I feel like the only reason why they slammed all this through, all of the policy slate, the bills and stuff that Virginia's gone through, I feel like they only did that because they know that time is short. And even I was surprised at how quickly all this was going. Monkey Trump 24 says Obama in his first term 1.6 million, second term 2.1 million. So that's a total of 3.7 million people deported. Trump first term 930,000, second term 675,000. Listen, 675,000 in a year is pretty fucking good. That's a good clip. I'll give him credit, proper credit where it's due. 675,000 in a year and change is a good start. But we still got way more to go. But it's funny you mentioned the West and the destruction of the West.
Yep.
Because there's one guy right now who is out here kicking ass and taking names. The one good thing the one thing that I like right now is that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, actually has very good people who have kind of matured as they've moved, as they've begun to work through the administration, right? JD Vance, obviously, as vice president, is one of them. JD Vance, listen, I am convinced that man will be the 48th president of the United States. But I'm telling you right now, there's another guy who's giving me the impression that I think we're going to be good in 2028, and that's Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio gave one of the greatest speeches on foreign policy, and people have been buzzing about it all over X. I want to actually watch it.
Let's watch it. Let's watch the whole thing.
I want to watch it, and we are going to be going through the whole thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already done so, please hit the like and the subscribe buttons. Please tell your friends. This is Apostate Radio episode 44. We want to thank Logan Lansing for joining us in the first hour. You're stuck with us for the rest of the time. But listen, we definitely appreciate all of you being here. We love you guys. Thanks for being here, and thanks for joining us this evening. But yeah, let's get into this. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, I really like this guy is all of it, and we really we've got a good one here. I think not so little Marco anymore.
Exactly. Big dog Marco now.
Big dog Marco now. Here we go. This is from actually from yesterday. He gave this speech to the Munich Security Conference in München, Deutschland. I mean, Munich, Germany.
Deutschland.
Yeah. Bayern Munich, one of the biggest soccer clubs in the world. Here we go.
FC Bayern.
Yeah, FC Bayern. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We gather here today as members of a historic alliance.
Hold on a second. That tie is incredible. That is just from an aesthetic purpose. That is one of the nicest ties I have ever seen. I want that tie.
I got a tie like that actually.
I
wear
would wear
like
that
before.
tie. Mr. Secretary, if you're
Regal
watching,
purple.
that is oh my God, that is a masterful necktie.
Hey, I got a tie like that.
Yeah. Marco, I'm gonna need one of them, brother. I'm gonna need one of them.
An alliance that saved and changed the world. You know, when this conference began in 1963, it was in a nation, actually it was on a continent, that was divided against itself. The line between communism and freedom ran through the heart of Germany. The first barbed fences of the Berlin Wall had gone up just 2 years prior. And just months before that first conference, before our predecessors first met here in Munich, the Cuban Missile Crisis had brought the world to the brink of nuclear destruction. Even as World War II still burned fresh in the memory of Americans and Europeans alike, we found ourselves staring down the barrel of a new global catastrophe, one with the potential for a new kind of destruction, more apocalyptic and final than anything before in the history of mankind. The time of that first gathering, Soviet communism was on the march. Thousands of years of Western civilization hung in the balance. At that time, victory was far from certain. But we were driven by a common purpose. We were unified not just by what we were fighting against. We were unified by what we were fighting for. And together, Europe and America prevailed. And a continent was rebuilt. Our people prospered. In time, the East and West blocks were reunited. A civilization was once again made whole.
Now he's referring to, if I may, the Twitter audio is quiet, so I'll turn that up a little bit. He's referring to the fall of the Berlin Wall, and he's summarizing for those who aren't aren't aware. He's summarizing what's been happening over the last 80 years. The Cold War is part of it, but I'm talking. This is post-war, World War II.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about after World War.
When they split the Berlin, the Berlin Wall, the communist Soviet controlled East Germany and Western Germany.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Yeah.
That infamous wall that had cleaved this nation into two came down, and with it an evil empire. And the East and West became one again. But the euphoria of this triumph led us to a dangerous delusion that we had entered, quote, the end of history, that every nation would now be a liberal democracy, that the ties formed by trade and by commerce alone would now replace nationhood, that the rules-based global order, an overused term, would now replace the national interest, and that we would now live in a world without borders where everyone became a citizen of the world.
I love that he's attacking globalism directly. That's what he's doing right here.
Yep.
He's attacking it. He named it. This is
It's a failed experiment, man. It's failed
experiment. Yeah. Here we go.
This was a foolish idea that ignored both human nature and it ignored the lessons of over 5,000 years of recorded human history.
Exactly.
And it has cost us dearly. In this delusion, we embraced a dogmatic vision of free and unfettered trade, even as some nations protected their economies and subsidized their companies to systematically undercut ours, shuttering our plants, resulting in large parts of our societies being deindustrialized, shipping millions of working and middle-class jobs overseas,
Preach.
and handing control of our critical supply chains to both adversaries and rivals. We increasingly outsourced our sovereignty to international institutions while many nations invested in massive welfare states at the cost of maintaining the ability to defend themselves. This, even as other countries have invested in the most rapid military buildup in all of human history and have not hesitated to use hard power to pursue their own interests. To appease a climate cult We have imposed energy policies on ourselves that are impoverishing our people, even as our competitors exploit oil and coal and natural gas and anything else, not just to power their economies, but to use as leverage against our own.
Bingo. And let me tell you something. Germany is especially guilty of this.
Yeah.
Germany abolished their entire nuclear program. Nuclear power,
it's clean.
Is clean. It's cheap. The key to any economy, okay, especially when it comes to moving goods and services, is that your energy has to be cheap. Your fuel has to be cheap, okay? Because when that's like your baseline. If the cost of moving goods is high, then the cost of the goods get higher.
Right. It's economics, guys.
Yeah, this is basic economics. Like this is basic stuff. And when you literally watch as these countries, and the United States is included in this, because I remember when Biden drained the entire fucking oil reserve we had in Alaska, drained the whole thing and sent it overseas. And what was the alternative that was given to us? Wind, solar, right? All of the bullshit that had been sold to the American people as like part of the Green New Deal, you know, like part of these brand new ideas that were supposed to revolutionize and take us into the 21st century.
The Green New Scam.
The Green New Scam. Yeah. Yeah. And
like to your point about Russia, Germany. Germany was getting all their oil from Russia, right? And now they have this war.
That part.
Now they have this war with Ukraine, and NATO is very concerned about it, as you know, perhaps they should be, especially if Russia is thinking about going to Poland. I don't know. I'm not so sure that they are, but maybe. And if they feel like they're going to steamroll Ukraine and then go into Poland and maybe elsewhere. Why are you helping funding Russia's war machine? You know, just like Marco just said, why are we giving money to our adversaries? Why are we buying fuel from them? And on top of that, with China as well, with the United States, it's like, it's like we have this Green New Scam, Green New Deal, all that, and restricting ourselves with our oil production in other countries that need it, especially poor countries like Africa. Continents like Africa, and the countries in Africa and the Middle East or Southeast Asia that don't have as much money, and they need fossil fuels, and we're trying to limit them. And a lot of people are going to starve or really suffer for that, when China is still going to use as much oil as they always do, and it's not going to make a difference with any kind of climate change happening. Like, they're going to do what they're going to do. Most of the world probably is still going to do what they're going to do. So why should we impoverish ourselves? Why should Europe impoverish themselves? Why should we impoverish poor countries that don't have the money, like already struggling? You know, like China and many other countries don't care. They don't listen. They don't care. So we might as well just keep on doing it and just work on new technological advances where we can figure out cleaner energy, maybe get back into nuclear. That's the smart thing to do.
Yeah. There's all sorts of stuff that we could be doing as a country, but so far, what Secretary Rubio is saying is the focus was like the rules. Basically, what he's saying so far is that the rules-based order has been used against us.
Yeah, totally. We let it happen,
and we let it happen. The de-industrialization. I tell this story sometimes about how there's a book that I read by George Packer. George Packer has been a big part of my political journey. And he wrote a book several years ago called The Unwinding. And he talks about how Youngstown, Ohio, these Midwestern towns that basically centralized their entire economies around steel, or some type of production, like in West Virginia,
manufacturing,
stuff like that. When the deindustrialization happened in the 70s and 80s, entire cities collapsed. Baltimore, my hometown, is like that. Baltimore, at one point, I talk about this a lot, and I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the show. Baltimore had the biggest steel plant in the country. In Bethlehem Steel, closed a few years ago, shrunk it down to nothing, till it was mid-all steel. But we had but they weren't big. But even though Bethlehem Steel, like you have generations of Baltimoreans that work there. Both of my grandfathers, my first father-in-law, all worked at Bethlehem Steel in some way, shape. I have my uncle. My dad's brother worked for so like I said, generations of Baltimoreans worked at Bethlehem Steel. There was Baltimore Specialty Steel that building 30-some years old, still empty, right? Deindustrialization destroyed towns in many locations. I have MTMCAS saying Buffalo, New York. Yeah. I mean, and
Detroit,
right? And who would have thought that something would have devastated Buffalo, New York more than Bill's Mafia? I'm just saying, right? Oh, here we go.
And in a pursuit of a world without borders, we opened our doors to an unprecedented wave of mass migration.
Yep.
That threatens the cohesion of our societies, the continuity of our culture, and the future of our people. We made these mistakes together. And now together we owe it to our people to face those facts and to move forward to rebuild. Under President Trump, the United States of America will once again take on the task of renewal and restoration, driven by a vision of a future as proud, as sovereign, and as vital as our civilization's past. And while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference and it is our hope to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe. For the United States and Europe, we belong together. America was founded 250 years ago, but the roots began here on this continent long before.
Yes, they did.
The men who settled and built the nation of my birth arrived on our shores carrying the memories and the traditions and the Christian faith of their ancestors as a sacred inheritance, an unbreakable link between the old world and the new.
For those of you who may or may not know, Marco Rubio is of Cuban ethnicity, and the Spaniards, when they came to the Caribbean, Cuba was right there. So just wanted to make that quick footnote for y'all.
We are part of one civilization, Western civilization. We are bound to one another by the deepest bonds that nations could share, forged by centuries of shared history, Christian faith, culture, heritage, language, ancestry, and the sacrifices our forefathers made together for the common civilization to which we have fallen heir. And so this is why we Americans may sometimes come off as a little direct and urgent in our counsel. This is why President Trump demands seriousness and reciprocity from our friends here in Europe. The reason why, my friends, is because we care deeply. We care deeply about your future and ours. And if at times we disagree, our disagreements come from our profound sense of concern about a Europe with which we are connected, not just economically, not just militarily. We are connected spiritually, and we are connected culturally. We want Europe to be strong. We believe that Europe must survive, because the two great wars of the last century serve for us as history's constant reminder that ultimately our destiny is and will always be intertwined with yours. Because we know
Pay very close attention to who's not clapping. Right there. The Muslim woman in the middle wearing the white hijab.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see her.
No, she ain't clapping. She ain't clapping. We got it, but here's the thing, like, this is not a bad thing at all. Like, I'm riveted by this speech. Because it hurts me to watch places like London, Paris, you know, like I had always wanted to go to Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up. There are places in Western Europe that I want to, like, I want to visit Portugal and eventually like go to Barcelona and Madrid and stuff like that. Like, I want to. These places are so far removed from what they once were. We have adopted so much in terms of straight up communism, like just the European Union, this Ursula von der Leyen, like all of these people. It's like this collective guilt for a past they did not, that Europe was, well, the UK in particular, who I have a lot of love for. We're talking about the same people who ended slavery. We're talking about people where, like, they ended slavery. They actually, like, we were dealing with these people. Like, Europe's got to get their shit together, dude. They do. Like, have you been over there in the last few years?
No, I haven't. Not since not in like 14 years or something. I lived in Madrid for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, wait. JB, who I hope to see on Saturday, says Jim Ratcliffe, who is the owner of Ineos, the SUV company, and the owner of Manchester United, said Jim Ratcliffe said what the silent majority of Britain and Europe are thinking right now. Peace coming soon, boys. Oh,
okay.
I'm looking forward to that. And JB,
All right,
JB, shout to you, brother. Give me a call.
Shout to JB.
Give me a call or text me, because we're going to be in town. We're going to be in DC later this week. So I want to see you. I want to see you, young man. Real quick, let me see. Hurt Chain asks, have you ever been to Europe? I have not, but I really, really, really want to go.
Hey, JB over, is he in DC?
He is.
How JB, how has it been since Trump cleaned up the city? Is it still pretty cleaned up now with the crime? And, like, I remember what was it, the National Guard were there. I don't know if they're still over there, but let us know. Send us some messages how it is over there.
Yeah,
is it more cleaned up than it was? Because I know there's a lot of crime before Trump was back in office.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead, Dozer.
Yeah, no. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, like I want, like, Europe needs to get its shit together collectively.
Definitely, man. Europe's our brothers. Europe's our you know, in a lot of ways, are like our parents. Like, you know, our parent culture.
They are.
Like, you know, they are. I mean, the people who created the United States, Constitution and the whole system and set in motion, the culture here, were mostly Englishmen, Scots, maybe some Dutch, mainly, that set up the whole thing. Yeah. And then there was waves of immigrants. You know, obviously there's black people came over, mostly as slaves, I think. But at first, it was really like, you know, then there's waves of immigrants later on, but they all had to adopt the culture here. And yeah, sometimes they brought in their own flavor and their own thing, but we really are an Anglo culture here. We're not that different from the UK or Australia or Canada. And we have a great system, and those are great countries, man, when they're not being totally destroyed by communists and woke socialists and all that. They're wonderful cultures. They're good people. They're a little bit too obsessed, I think, all of our countries, with like racism and sexism and gender shit, obviously to a pathological point. But they really mean well. And instead, we're being taught constantly that they're like the worst cultures on earth. the most hateful, evil, oppressive cultures, and it's horseshit. It's everybody who has a brain in their head should know that that's the opposite is true. It just is.
You should never be the one thing, and then I'm gonna go on for like a couple minutes or so. The one thing that I need people to understand is that you should never ever be ashamed of. There's nothing wrong with assimilating to American culture.
No,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And they already also, Isaiah, real quick before you finish. I mean, everybody already has that is speaking English. Anybody who's born here. That's one thing I learned by going to Costa Rica, living in Costa Rica, because that's where it's where my dad's from. I love Costa Rica. But when I lived in Costa Rica for months, I was there for several months, like a half a year. I learned that, and I've been there many times since, and for weeks and weeks at that time. Spent a lot of time there as an adult. And you learn though that as much as I love the country, I'm a gringo. I'm an American first and foremost. Like you learn that people in America think, oh, I'm a my dad's Costa Rican, so I'm Costa Rican. It's like, no, you're not. You're American. All you guys, everybody is an American that's been born and raised here, really. And anybody who's lived most of their life here ends up becoming American unless they don't ever assimilate. I guess that it's questionable. But that you are culturally an American. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you look like or whatever. And you're never going to have more in common with any other person, any other country, or any other culture in any other country, I should say, at least, but your own. If you lived here, born and raised here your whole life, that's a fact. And you learn that if you actually leave the country for any good amount of time. And it doesn't mean necessarily that our culture is superior to any others. There's pros and cons. Our system, I think, is superior to every other system, government system. But it does mean that is your culture. Exactly. That is your mother culture. That is your frame of reference. Those are your values for the most part. And when you go to other countries, you are an outsider in other countries. There is certain things you don't hold in common with them, and they view you that way. Sometimes they'll let you in, and people will be your friends, but you are first and foremost an outsider in other countries. And people need to understand that this is your country as if you're an American. This is your country, and you should love it. You should try to love it. You should try to make it better. You should try to fight and rowing, all of us rowing in the same boat in the same direction as much as possible. We could debate about how to do it, but we should all have the best intentions in doing this.
One of the worst things that I think I've ever heard uttered over the last several years is the disgust that I hear when people whenever they see, I keep referencing this hat, right?
Dark MAGA hat.
Dark MAGA, make America great again. And I love this hat. I keep it right next to next to my setup here. What I have never understood is the hatred people have for that hat. Why is MAGA a pejorative? And the second thing is the immediate retort to that is, well, when was America ever great? And
when wasn't it great? That's a question, man.
No, wrong. That's the wrong question. And honestly, that's a question I don't even want to entertain because it's not a question in good faith. The one thing you have to understand about communists is that communists always demand that you look behind you. They always demand that you look backwards. They worship the devil exactly. They worship the devil well in the fact that the devil is always accuse, always demanding that you apologize, always demanding that you defang yourself and disempower yourself because of past sins. When was America ever great? You know what? That honestly doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. What matters is how you make America great today, how you make America how you as an individual living in America, how you as a head of household, how you as a father, a mother, a daughter, a son, how you are working in this country to make your America great. I am tired of this nonsense, this collective. Listen, what we have right now We have a culture, and it is under attack because individualism is under attack. They want to replace your ability to improve yourself. They want to replace that. Zohran said it's the coldness, it's the frigidity of individualism with this warmth of collectivism. This warmth of collectivism that just so happened to freeze 20-some people to death in the Five Boroughs. But it's this like, if you're around other people and worried about each other, then then that's warmth, and everyone will try to help you. Bullshit. You cannot help others unless you help yourself. You cannot be a blessing to others unless you are able to hold yourself down. And that's under attack.
Yeah.
That's what's under attack in this country.
Amongst other things, I mean, the history's under attack, our culture's under attack, or any reason to have any pride, our virtues, everything that brought us this far has been under attack. I mean, that's a fact. I think, and to what I was saying before, it's like America's always been great since 1776 at least, right? I mean, like it was a goddamn. First of all, with the going against Britain. The most powerful navy in the country and I mean in the world, and freeing ourselves from them very bravely, and deciding upon creating our own country, which is real incredible. And then creating with Madison and James Madison, Hamilton, and those guys, creating the U.S. Constitution, which is the best. It is the best document I've ever seen. I mean, look at Europe. Europe has and when in good times has done pretty well. But they don't have freedom of speech. That's a big fucking problem. That's a really big. Not having freedom of speech is a really, really, really big problem. Like, I don't think people understand how much of a problem that is. Like, and that's why they're going off the edge. You're not even allowed to talk about certain things. You can't criticize like migrant rapists of children, or on Twitter being like, hey, we can't allow these migrants to be rapists, whatever. And because it's considered, it might be offensive, and it might be considered racist. So they'll come to your house and arrest you while the migrant rapist is let off with like no charges sometimes, or probation or something like that. That's how backwards it's gotten in some of these countries, and it's mainly because of no free speech. America, we're protected from that. We can still say mostly what we want. I mean, as long as. If we had Democrats back in power, that might change, because I know they're trying. Kamala and other people are trying to change that. But that's thank God for our Bill of Rights and the Constitution.
Yeah,
our balance of powers and everything, our free press. When the press is actually doing its job. But America's always been great, man. I mean, we ended slavery in America with the Civil War, which killed hundreds of thousands of mainly white people, as far as I understand, white men. You know what I mean? So like. They paid the price for that, right? In a lot of ways, like that was a big mistake to have slaves in the first place, which is a terrible thing to do. And then the karma came back, and a lot of white men died for that, and obviously some black men as well. But fighting 2 world wars and helping the good guys win in those wars. Helping the whole country, the whole world get rich and wealthy and way wealthier than they've ever been through our capitalist society and our capitalist scientists and entrepreneurs, which made the whole world much more wealthy than it would be. Where starvation's almost disappeared throughout most of the world. A lot of diseases are eradicated. Very poor countries have infrastructure and transportation and technology that just wouldn't even think of doing that like 50, 100 years ago, depending. America's always been fucking great. It's never been perfect. It's never been perfect. We've influenced the whole world with our stories, with our movies, our film, back when they used to be of quality, our literature. We protected the world. Our Navy protected trade for forever, for a long time, for decades at least. We've defeated the communists in the Soviet Union. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like I can go on and on and on. America has always been great, and anybody who says otherwise is extremely ignorant and not either extremely ignorant or not acting in good faith. That's a fact.
Yeah, we are Yeah, that's big stuff, man. That's big stuff, and
brought back democracy. We brought back democratic republic, man. Like, you know, I think maybe Netherlands did it first, but we did it in a big way and made the whole world change up most of the whole world change up their whole government system.
Yeah.
Like just being inspired by us.
Yeah. I guess we can pack it up because there's one last thing that I do want to
go on. We can go all day talk about how great America is, man. Like, don't give me that bullshit. Do not give me that shit.
Listen, folks.
All day long I can go.
I love this country.
Me too, man.
I love this country. I love the United States of America. And Frank White is saying, he says we have technology that can bend time and space.
We got mad technology, man. Like, we have stuff that we probably didn't even realize. Yeah.
I saw that. I want to get you, Frank. Thank you. I'm gonna look into that some more. If you could, yeah, keep me abreast of that. Last thing,
we are that shining city on the hill. Is that what Reagan called it?
Reagan said, "Yes, we are.
We still are that. We still are that, man. Still,
listen.
Sorry, we are.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what really disturbs me, and it's guys like Teray, right? Getting back to him,
clown ass.
Guys like Teray. Guys like Joy Reid, well, not guys, but people like women like Joy Reid and Jamel Hill and Ta-Nehisi Coates and all these other fucking people that love to talk about how bad this country is. They are making more money than you. These are not middle class
grifters.
They're not poor people. These are people who make hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to drive you insane. Rachel Maddow is $25 million a year to drive you insane, to turn you against your country. A lot of you will complain about how bad America is on your way to a well-paying job. A lot of you there are some people who have union jobs with benefits, and they talk about how this country sucks. This ungratefulness. I need to talk about this
attitude.
This ungrateful attitude, this spiteful attitude. You would not have that if it were not told to you. You would not have this type of mentality if it were not implanted in you by an education system, by a media infrastructure,
media, yeah, quote unquote,
that make millions, billions of dollars to drive you nuts, to drive you against your own country, to keep the racial division, to keep it going. We keep fighting, they keep making money.
Yeah.
And we need to stop that. America is a great country. It is imperfect, but it is still great in its imperfection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that no one wants to understand. No one wants to hear that. This is a country where a man from Baltimore, Maryland, who had gone through job after job after job in his previous career, can come up here to one of the most hectic places on earth and make a decent living. I came up here in the torment, like in the turmoil of a separation and a divorce. And I came up here. I got stability. I have a great job. I have a great career. Thank God for it. And I got married. And I got married again. Something I never thought would happen again after that second one. This is a great country. And yes, it's a country run by it's a country run by very evil people. I will, especially in the legislative branch, I will say that I will not accept Trump a slander about Trump on this, because Trump, yes, his name is in it, his name is in the files, but that man was the first one to call the police on Epstein. I am not entertaining it. He is the first good guy in that story. I'm not doing this with y'all tonight. I'm not doing it. The American dream where hard work pays off. Absolutely. This is a great country, man. Everyone succeeds and fails by meritocracy eventually. Listen, I am tired of this notion that if you just complain hard enough and not do any fucking work, then everything will magically come to you. Stop letting these fucking communists lie to you, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's you. I'd say that's you as a black man. You had career changes, I think. You came to New York City. New York City's hyper competitive, very expensive. I did the same thing, by the way. You know, I studied something and I realized I have to go back to school I studied psychology, and I realized I have to go back to school to get a job in it and as a professional. And I was like, it's like, I don't know that I want. Yeah, I have a degree in psychology. So
no shit. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So and then I've studied a lot more psychology since then, actually. So I'm actually know a lot more about psychology than I did back when I graduated, especially social psychology, personality psychology, psychology, morality, and tribalism and stuff from Jonathan Haidt. Yeah. So I studied quite a bit of that, like
that's
a lot.
Why you mentioned him so much. I got you.
Yeah. I studied that on my own free time because it's very interesting and very relevant. It's a brilliant book, The Righteous Mind, especially, but also I read some of his other books. But anyways, I have a degree in that. And then I was like, you know what? I have to go back to get a master's degree or a PhD if I want to get a higher paying job than what I was doing. And I was like, shit, all right, do I want to do all that? And it's at least 3 years if it's a master's degree, or like, if you're doing therapy or something like that. Plus interning and shit. It's like, that's money, that's time. And I was like, you know what, let me just go online and learn a trade, like in the digital world. And I was able to get a professional job doing that, just studying for like online and practicing a couple things for a couple months online, free. You know what I mean? Like, and then I was able to move to New York City and get a decent paying job, and get into the middle class. And it's like, it was a little bit of effort, but it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard to do. Like, and I probably for you, Isaiah, it's the same thing. Like it was effort. It was commitment. There's some bad times and good times, but it wasn't like you were slaving away and your back's breaking and, oh my God, I can't sleep. I don't think it was probably like that for you. It wasn't for me. It's like, it's not that hard to succeed in America. Like you might not be, maybe you're not gonna be a millionaire. Maybe, you're probably not gonna be a billionaire. Most people won't be, but you can live a comfortable life with police aren't like, knocking on your door to arrest you over posts or disagreeing with the president. Nobody's starving to death. Hopefully there's not so much crime, even though Democrats seem to be making that a thing. And you can succeed. You can save and make the right choices and do the right things. And you will be, you'll probably be comfortable. And if you're not, like if you have really low IQ or some serious mental illness or something like that, there's social safety net for that. So like, what the fuck are you guys complaining about? There is things, the houses are expensive and stuff like that, but you could always move. You could move somewhere where they're cheaper, just like everybody else had to do throughout history, where houses are cheaper, where there's jobs. You could do that. You're not entitled to live in any city you want. You're not entitled to live where you grew up. Like we don't have an entitlement for that, but you probably technically could if you really tried. You probably could live wherever you want if you really tried, for most people in America. So like our friend said before, meritocracy does usually win out in the end. Sometimes you get unlucky. Sometimes it happens, but for the most part, you really could get ahead and live comfortably in America and establish yourself. And like that's what I've seen across the board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I've seen. And like, so that's a good system. It's not perfect. We could probably fix certain things. We could probably tweak certain things. Definitely could fix education. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Most of the things that need to be fixed have been run into the ground by the Democrats. That's what I see, and the far left. But not everything. Like I know things in the past, like probably like the Iraq War and stuff like that, and and open borders maybe was started by the conservatives in the beginning. I don't know. I'm not sure. So like, I'm not trying to say everything is Democrats' fault, but lately most of it's the Democrats' fault.
Exactly.
But people need to really realize, like, America is still the land of opportunity, and it's not that hard to do okay here. Not everybody's gonna be rich, but you could do okay here. And everybody complaining and acting like it's some kind of oppressive regime. They're either idiots, they've been indoctrinated and like Marxist indoctrination and radical shit, or they made some bad decisions and either got pregnant too early or committed crimes or didn't fucking finish school, or they went to school too long learning about stupid shit they shouldn't have been learning and are in huge amount of debt learning about like fucking feminist basket weaving. So this is usually if you're not doing well, it's usually your fault, man, in America. I mean, that's really it, or your parents' fault.
Yeah. Well, that's our show tonight. Last thing. We are not a soccer podcast, but we are soccer fans. Some of us more than others. I mean, you're a Madridista over there with
Madridista.
Did I say it right at least?
Madridista, yeah, man.
There we go. And so next week is the beginning of Major League Soccer.
Yes, back at it. I almost wore my New York City hat today. Actually, I got it right up there too. I got my
oh, you do?
New York City the 2020 MLS Cup little pendant or whatever the hell that you call it. 2021 MLS champs. So.
I gotta say, Karine and I will be in the building. We will be at Audi Field. Our first home
back at it.
This has been
the Eagle's back in the nest, the big eagle.
Yeah, buddy.
And his nesting pair.
Yes, exactly. And I want to real quick, right? So, I love this big ass ring that I've been wearing this. This is like the.
Thank you, Soul Saddle.
Yeah, I do want to show you this one because wifey got me this. And I'm wearing this to the game. She got me a special wedding band for the game in black and red.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's a good touch.
And it matches. It matches everything. So I will be wearing black and red ring, black and like this is. It's so crazy how DC United have become such a massive part of not just my life, but our life, like as a couple. And I want
That's great that she adopted them.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
that's awesome that you guys got. It's awesome you got your new stadium too, man. I mean, I know it's not that new anymore, but that's sick that you guys finally got the. I mean, it's probably like 12 years now, but
no.
What was it? How many years has it been?
8.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah, Audi Field got built in.
I remember when it was built. Yeah, I remember. It was awesome.
But the Commander Stadium they're rebuilding RFK. They're building a totally new RFK on the grounds of the old one. You best believe there are going to be some games over there. Where the old stadium was, where RFK was, on like Capitol Street.
Wasn't RFK a baseball stadium?
Well, it was.
Yeah.
The old Senators played there. And the Nationals played there first.
I've been there. I've been to RFK.
Yeah, so have I. But so RFK used to be where the Washington Senators played. The Nationals played there first before they built Nationals Park. So yeah, like
I saw DC play New York City over there. New York City FC over there. I went there.
Oh, at RFK.
I believe so, yeah. Right? That's when DC was playing there, right? Back in the day? That's probably like 2015, probably 16, maybe.
Yeah, that would be right. That would be right.
Yeah, 2015, 16, something like that. Yeah. I think it was like the first or second year.
So yeah, 17 was the last year over at last year at RFK.
I think it was 16 or 17. Yeah, 15 through 17. It was one of those years.
Yeah, but we're going there. First time as a married couple, first home opener as a married couple. We still have a lot of love for New York City Football Club. I love and they play on the correct side of the Hudson River, which
Indeed.
is, I mean, that's like automatic, massive respect. Cannot wait to go to Etihad Park when they open.
Oh, me too. I'm definitely going. We should try to go opening day as a.
We should.
I'm in. Let me know. I'm in.
We'll definitely go when DC and New York City play. When DC play up here away. But
let's do it.
But I just want to give a quick shout to the entire DC United, the entire staff, the coaches, shout to Matt Kaczynski, the world's greatest kit man. I want to give a shout to everybody there at the club. The new general manager, Dr. Erkut Sogut, who has the brother's been cooking. Erkut has been Dr. Sogut has been cooking with these new signings and everything. We've got a shout to Connor Antley, who I hope is the next captain of this team. We'll see. But I love you guys. I love the black and red. I thank you all for, even though I might not be politically aligned with a lot of y'all, I am thankful to call you all my friends, and I am thankful to wear this to wear this crest proudly. I love y'all. That's our show tonight. Looking forward to seeing you on March 1st. We're not having a show next week. But yes, March 1st will be our next show. Will be Apostate Radio 45. We hope to see you then. Have a great night. I'm Isaiah Carter, Mr. Nino Chavez. We thank y'all. Good night.